It's horrible. I'll take the 120
horrible.
all day long instead of 90% humidity, which is probably what it is there right now.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is you see the Stanley Cup Finals, you want to see that buzz. You want that buzz in the community, and you want to see people wearing the Panther jersey. Where do you go? Do you go to Sunrise? Do you go to Miami? Do you go to Fort Lauderdale? Like, I don't know. When we get to Edmonton, buddy, you're going to see the oil crest everywhere. But here in Florida, it's not really hit here yet, I don't think, with Game 1 coming.
So from reading the newspapers and the blogs and everything that's out there in that area, is it a hockey town?
You know,
do you feel
it's
it?
Funny. You don't. And it's
Really?
funny. Not winning. I mean, it'll be full tomorrow and everything will be great.
Yeah.
But when the team's not winning, Sunrise, Florida is too far out. And it's a problem. And their attendance has suffered when they're not winning. So it's similar. And I don't want to say it's not a hockey town. It is. They're excited. People are excited about this Florida Panther team. And you're starting to see a little bit of it. But it's not like if this is the Philadelphia Flyers today or the New York Rangers, I think you're going to see a little different buzz in the air. The hardcore fans are here, but it's not like one of those other hockey teams.
Are they similar to what there are here, Steve, with you have the transients?
Yep.
Everybody out northeast from New York and Washington, and they come down to Florida, retire, or they're from that area. They kind of migrate down there. And because I can imagine when the Rangers come in town or the Bruins come in town that I don't know if they get a bigger crowd supporting them versus the Panthers, but is it kind of similar to that? It's very much like they are here.
It is, but the big difference is this team has had success. I mean, This is their third time in the finals, and when you win, if Arizona would continually make the playoffs and make the finals a few times, you would see more Coyote jerseys. You just would.
Yeah.
And so this team has had more success, and they have more star players that you can root for. I think that has helped. So I do definitely think it's going to be a sea of red here tomorrow for certain. You'll see the sprinkling of blue, but they root for the hometown team. The fan base is similar in that they're transient.
Yeah.
But I do think more people, because of their success, have become Panther fans.
Petey, I don't know one Florida Panther fan, not one, and I've been around 55 years, soon to be 56.
That's fair,
and that's okay. That's okay. People may say that back there they don't know any Coyote fans, same thing. But
fair.
Give us an idea of what kind of style of play. From what I've read, they're very physical. Let's look at Florida for those of us that are just hockey fans that can't wait to watch. We're looking for somebody to root for. Okay, we don't have anything going other than maybe a bet. But is it tell us a little bit about the Panthers and then of course the Oilers.
Yeah, the one thing about the Florida Panthers is this team is incredibly aggressive. And it's not just physicality. They play, if you're a basketball fan, this is a man-on-man team. They play you incredibly tight. They give you no room. And we say they smother their opponents. It can be boring and slow at times, but they just give their opponent no room to breathe. You saw them against the New York Rangers. Panarin, Zibanejad, Kreider had no room. They had no offense, and none of their top players could score because this team defends incredibly well. But they're also very aggressive to the opponent's net. And we had Tkachuk is a name that Coyote fans will be familiar with Keith Tkachuk. His son Matthew is on this team, leads the team in points in the playoffs. He's a pain in the ass. And he gets to the blue paint. He plays hard. He's an aggressive player. He's a guy you're going to notice. And he's going to be a guy that tips the scales for this Florida Panthers team. You want to root for him because he's a Tkachuk, but he also plays hard. The other guy I think you're going to want to keep an eye on is Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and a former Coyote that took a lot of heat when he left Arizona because he was making $9 million. He was the highest paid player. He was the captain, and he probably didn't play up to that expectation. In Florida, he's the fourth or fifth defenseman. And then when you make him your fourth or fifth defenseman, now you're in the right spot. And he's playing big minutes. He's defending incredibly well. He's on their second power play. And again, another guy that Arizona fans can root for because, you know what, he used to be wearing the Kachina, and now he's playing some of his best hockey as he gets older in his career. Florida's going to be hard for the Edmonton Oilers to play against. They're just incredibly smothering and physical. And I tell you what, I know it's a great hockey matchup. I know it's not a ratings bonanza without the New York Rangers or Boston Bruins in this, but the hockey the Florida Panthers play is outstanding.
Steve, it's interesting. I watched a little bit of the Rangers-Panthers game, and they went at 4-2, but it seemed like they don't, to your point, the physicality, they don't make a lot of mistakes, and that they take advantage of mistakes. At least when I listen to the announcers talk about it, and they just don't give up the puck. They just kind of take care of business, so to speak.
Yeah, they do. They have their offensive zone puck time is impressive, and it's funny because the Edmonton Oilers have not faced a team like Florida yet in the playoffs. You know, Dallas was a team that didn't dominate offensively. They had under 25 shots in 4 of their games, where Florida had more than 34 shots on goal in 4 of their 6 games against the Rangers. Edmonton's not ready for this. Edmonton hasn't had a play at like this at all in the playoffs. And when they faced off head to head in the regular season, Florida dominated. It was 5-1, 5-3, all in favor of Florida. 10 goals in 2 games. Florida dominated the Edmonton Oilers. Now the Oilers are playing better than they did in the middle of the regular season, but the depth of the Florida Panthers should be one of the tipping points to get them over on this talented Edmonton Oilers team.
Who did the rest, before we talk about the Oilers, who did the rest benefit the most, do you think, Steve?
Well, it's always who's injured, and you just don't know. The one thing you see in football, they disclose the injuries,
right.
They tell you what's wrong with the guy. In hockey, they don't. You don't know. Like you don't know, especially in playoffs. You hear upper body, lower body during the regular season. Playoffs, you don't know a thing. You have no idea where these guys are. So who's ever the most injured and needs to recover, that's the team that's benefiting the most. I did see it in some of these other series. Florida had a little bit longer of a rest, and it hurt them. They didn't keep their momentum going, and that was early in the series between round 1 and 2, and they stumbled out of the gate in round 2. But both teams have had a rest now. I think both of them will be healthy, and honestly, they'll be ready to go. Like, this is going to be, the break gets a little more practice time. If anything, it gets the nerves and ramps up that part of it. So I expect game 1, the first 10 minutes, to be a little slow. Everybody's afraid to make mistakes. Everybody's feeling each other out. So I think it's going to take them at least a period of hockey to get into it. But by game 2 and 3, you're going to see the best of what each of these teams brings to the table.
Talk about Edmonton. What kind of style play? What can we expect? From what I've read, power plays is big on them. They're offensive. They've learned how to defend in the playoffs. But what can you tell us about them?
The one thing they have is Connor McDavid, and
Yeah.
Connor McDavid. If you follow hockey,
Oh, by the way,
Connor McDavid is and that's what Florida is interesting, because Florida's played better teams than the Edmonton Oilers. Rangers were a better team. Boston was a better team, but they haven't played better players. And Edmonton has better players. Connor McDavid over the Dallas Stars series was absolutely elite, like phenomenal. He's carrying his team like Michael Jordan carried the Bulls. Like, he's that good. And right now, if Edmonton's going to win this series, he is going to be the MVP of the playoffs. He has to be, because they don't have the ability. They don't have the depth. They don't have the balanced scoring like you see in most other teams. It's top heavy, and it's Connor McDavid. And he's got the speed that he can get away from this tight checking Florida Panther team. He can get behind their D. I'm excited to see the stingy D against the speed and skill of McDavid. That's the matchup, because if you can keep Connor McDavid off the scoreboard, you're going to win. It's that simple. If you can get off the ice, even when Connor McDavid is on the ice, you're going to win, because they don't have the ability to get goals from that secondary scoring. So Florida, if I'm the Panthers, man, we are smothering, and we're on top of, and we're defending McDavid even when we have the puck. And I know that sounds funny, but it's true. Dallas didn't pay attention to Connor McDavid when he was on the ice, when they had the puck, when Dallas had the puck. You need to defend Connor when he doesn't have the puck. And when it turns over, he is so fast and so skilled that he can create offense out of nothing. So you better be aware when he's on the ice. The other thing for Edmonton right now, you mentioned their power play. Like, this is historically good power play, like the best power play to ever play since they kept power play statistics. If you get a penalty, they are going to score. 30% of their goals so far in this playoffs have come on the power play. 1 out of every 3 goals with the man advantage. So that means to Florida, stay on the penalty box. Don't take penalties. If Florida can stay on the penalty box, they should get through this series. But this power play is elite, and Connor McDavid is elite. I don't know about their defending and goaltending. They haven't faced a test like Florida, and I am concerned about their ability to protect the front of the net, protect the house, and protect the blue paint in front of their goaltender, Stuart Skinner, who has not been outstanding at points in this playoff. So that's going to be the big question mark for Edmonton.
Steve, for me, a hockey novice, and some of the listeners out there, define when a young man carries a team in hockey. What does that mean? And also, what do we watch when Connor McDavid is on the ice?
So one thing, when you watch number 97, Blue, watch when he does not have the puck, and he just finds these open areas where no one else is, but the puck is going to find him. And it's funny, when Wayne Gretzky was the coach of the Coyotes a few years ago, he would walk by the TV, and he had that same sixth sense, and he'd look at the TV and he goes, why is that guy there? He should be over there, because the puck's going to come there. And he's right. and he sees the game differently. Connor McDavid is no different. The one thing Connor McDavid has that Gretzky doesn't have is the speed. Connor McDavid is the fastest player in the National Hockey League. When he gets going, you go, wow. So if you get an opportunity to watch him, just keep your eye on him when he's on the ice. He does amazing things with the puck, but away from the puck, he's so interesting to watch because you know he's going to anticipate the next move of not just the opponents, but the puck as well. He's an amazing player to watch. And if not for him, this team is out 2 rounds ago. And that's just the facts. And when you say carrying the team, he provides all the offense. Like he is at the top of his game right now. And without him, they don't have a chance against this dominating Florida Panther team.
Steve, you bring up Wayne Gretzky today. You go back to 1989, and he won his 9th NHL Hart, which is the MVP trophy for those who don't know, in 10 years, 9 out of 10 years. There's always a debate, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, go on and on. Who is number 2, or is Matthews? I mean, is the jury still out on Connor McDavid? He needs to win a bunch of titles. I mean, cups. I mean, what needs to happen?
Yeah, it's because you still got Sidney Crosby, Mario Lemieux, Jaromir Jagr. Like, there's some pretty big names on there. Connor McDavid has to win, and he's in his 9th season, and he hasn't been this
2 minutes
before. And this was the expectations a long time ago for this Edmonton Oilers team to be in this spot in the Stanley Cup Finals. If they don't win, there's going to be disappointment.
Yeah,
because they felt with the best player, you need to get championships. And I think Connor McDavid's going to be graded on his ability to win championships. It's in every sport like that. They always say, well, did he win? Well, did he win? And right now, Connor McDavid hasn't done that. As a matter of fact, they've never made it this far to the finals. They've been in the Western Conference Finals once in those 9 years. So yeah, it's a big deal for him, and what goes on in his legacy, what will be is coming here, because you don't make it back. It's hard. It's really hard to get through the Stanley Cup playoffs. And so there's no guarantee this team will ever be back.
I don't want to put any salt on the wound, but the Utah's team is narrowing down their list of possible names. They're down to 6: Utah Blizzard, Utah Hockey Club, Utah Mammoth, Utah Outlaws, Utah Venom, Utah Yeti. What's Coach Peters going with?
The Arizona Coyotes? Was that an option?
Get over it, Steve. Get over, buddy.
I know it's not an option there. I think, honestly, I don't like any of them. But can we stop using singular names like the Mammoth and the Yeti? Can we have plural names again?
Sure.
Is that a thing? So I don't know. The Blizzard doesn't make sense to me. The one, I guess, that somebody explained to me today, it's called the Beehive State. So the bees are very prominent.
Okay.
And when I heard Venom, I was thinking snake venom.
Yeah, me too.
Arizona, but it was bee venom that it was referenced.
That's stupid.
Again. I'll say Yeti for now. I honestly don't hate
Yeti because they're the sponsor. I mean, coolers. Everybody gets a cooler if you're season ticket holder.
And a water bottle.
Giveaways on Yeti night, like Yeti night.
Yeti night.
Yeti night.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I honestly, I hate to say it. I don't care, but I don't like any of them. And maybe it's just because I don't mind the colors, the blue and the light blue. I'm okay with the colors. I can live with that. But we'll see. Is that the way you name a team? You have everybody vote. I don't know. Is that what you do?
That's the Phoenix Suns did years
Everybody
ago.
did. That's how they do it in sports.
Well,
let the fans. The
Utah Jazz, because the downtown.
Well, that was they transferred. Team. I mean, they were
New Orleans.
New Orleans. That's why they got the Jazz.
Change the name.
Yeah,
you can change the name, can't you?
So Utah Coyotes can't do that, right?
No, can't do it because
Yotes own that.
What's his name? The Morello family owns that for now.
Yeah.
For now. Oh, did you just throw something out there, Steve?
We'll see. We'll see the auctions June 27th. We'll see.
20 days. Can't wait. You want to go? You want to carpool to it or what?
You know what? I'm actually going to be at the draft for that. So, and I know I got to go here, but if this goes to 7 games, the game 7 is June 24th. I will fly home the 25th. I go to the draft the 26th.
Wow.
So, Rock, you'll have to stop by and see how she's going to be.
Definitely. I'll make sure, and I'll walk your dog, so you'll be good.
Thank you.
Take in the trash. Thank you, buddy. Have fun out there. Not too much. Don't spend all that day. Don't spend all the per diem the first day, okay? You need to make it through the weekend.
Hitting the beach right now. Can't wait. Thanks, guys. Appreciate having me on. Florida Panthers in 6.
There you have it. Florida Panthers in 6. That's Steve Peters. Check him out. We'll catch him next week as well. Follow him on Twitter, X, Peters Hockey. Coming up, football at 50. Pretty serious stuff happened with the Chiefs. We'll talk about that. And Nick